really?
Oh, really? Hey, everybody, it is the Honey Badger here, and it is in fact time for Patch Notes 6.10. Joining me on this monumentous occasion is, of course, bonus content, who is here this time.
Hola.
You missed the mid-season mage?
That was intentional.
Yeah, I know, it was your blood. You just weren't ready for so many changes.
The salt was about to go overload.
It was
something else.
It was the real salt.
Yep.
Oh.
Real salt.
Well, that will happen. So we're going to go over patch 6.10 today. We're going to talk about the changes, what we like, what we don't like, what's going to be impactful, what's going to suck. If you could leave this video a like, that would be fantastic. If you're catching this live, hello and good day. If you're not catching this live, hello and good day. Patch 6.10. Some very interesting changes. Some much needed changes. The first thing I will say before we dive into any champions are a few champions were probably a little stronger than you would have wanted them to be after the mid-season mage update, but there were a lot of mid-patch hotfixes that happened. If you want to read up on them, they're actually inside of the 6.9 patch notes. They go back and update patch notes when they do hot patches and hot fixes. There was changes to buff up Cass and a few other champions, and then some nerfs came into Malzahar right away because he was overly powerful. Since then, there are some more changes, obviously, in this patch to those champions, but for the most part, there were, in fact, initial hot fixes for a few of those champions. So, with that aside, there won't be as many crazy changes to those champions because they already addressed them, technically in 6.9.5 phrasing. But to kick things off, wait, how did he say your name?
Talia?
Talia. No.
Ang?
Talia. I heard, okay, so here's the problem. So I did my video for her a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to somebody who was on playtest team who was working on her originally, and he said her name the way I said it in my video, and then Freak said it a different way in the champion spotlight. So now I'm just confused, which is fine. It happens, but it's funny when you hear two different things come from Riot's mouth about how a champion's name is said, especially when one comes from Freak, who sometimes gets facts incredibly wrong, and one from somebody who's on playtest, who might just playtest but not actually know anything. Who actually knows? I don't.
They're making these people are fictitious characters. It's not like they actually have like a correct pronunciation of their name.
You say Nasus wrong or Viger. Susan. And people get their panties all up in a bunch. Everybody's going to call her Toph. Anyways, she's going to be released this patch. If you want to watch my spotlight or the real spotlight, I believe there is a card on this video right now. You can watch it after this video. But let's get to the first champion change. That's going to be on Alistair, who actually they had to that was not there earlier. That's funny. When I first opened this and then it refreshed, but I knew this was in the patch. So his Unbreakable Will, which is his ultimate, the damage reduction on that, instead of it being 70% at all ranks, it is now going to be 50, 60, 70. It's going to scale up. So he's not going to be as tanky at levels 6 to 11, all the way up to 16, essentially. So he will be less of a douchebag. Which is good, because this unrelenting tower diving early is stupid.
Yep, I think it's more of a shot at professional play because you don't really have coordination normally.
Yeah.
In normals and ranked queues to actually pull off level 6 tower dives with Alistair. Mm-hmm. So I think it's more of a shot at professional play, but it's still obviously a big deal.
I think it's a mild shot too at solo lane Alistair too, because there was more of that, because solo Alistair, once he hit 6, if you're both roughly the same life, he would just dive you and he would just get the kill. And he probably would get away. So that will also be happening too. So small changes to Alistair, but impactful, honestly. So make sure you keep an eye on that one if you are an Alistair player. The next champion on the docket is Anivia. Anivia got changes, obviously, in 6.9 on the mid-season mage update. The thing we're going to be seeing here are some positive changes coming into her Glacial Storm. The cost per second is being decreased at all ranks. the cast range is being increased, and the initial radius is going to be a little bit bigger. It obviously still expands outward after you cast it and you let it sit on the ground, but the initial radius is a little bit bigger by 50. And now, this one I actually really do like. This is kind of cool. Using Hourglass no longer interrupts Glacial Storm. It previously did, but now you could, in theory, throw it on yourself and then do a Hourglass and have them sit in the damage if they want to try to finish you off if they're melee. So that's kind of neat, in my opinion.
It's still, in my opinion, not as good as what her alt used to be, where it was just immediate, because it was a lot easier to hit. Just like you just spam R and then send a little dart at people and like half-life them, and they just shut off right away. So it's like a little bit more skillful, but I like Anivia as a champion. They're just not super effective unless you have a team comp built around that kind of thing. So I like her. She's fine.
I like the change they made, though. They make her more interesting. So.
Yeah. The skill level in Anivia is actually, I think, pretty high.
To do it really well, yeah.
Yeah, it just performed properly with the wall. Actually, I kind of wish that they would make her wall like Azir's.
Like bounce off of it?
Well, just like, unless you clear the whole thing, you can't get over.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. That'd be sweet.
That would be a helpful thing, but I thought she's fine. It's just really good players are really good with her, and average players suck ass. So,
no argument there. Next up is Aurelion Sol, who is getting some nerfs, you could say. And when I say you could say, yes, you definitely could say. So, he's decent. But the big thing here is I think this is more at high level play. So Celestial Expansion cooldown is being increased. It's the same early, but it doesn't decrease as far down, so you can't just turn on and off every 2 seconds. Now it's going to be 4 seconds for that cooldown. And then Voice of Light base damage is coming down 50 at all ranks. This really isn't a ton of damage, but definitely impactful early on once he doesn't have much going on for scaling. But then, what?
The kids.
Yeah, dude.
Slay him.
Yeah, so if anybody can hear random screaming, the house behind mine, there's like some kids who like, I don't know, like, yeah, there's kids who apparently play after school or something, and they're just screaming up a storm. You should go play some goddamn video games! But,
sound like Francis.
But yeah, so if you hear screaming, it's just random children outside loving the weather, apparently. Although it's shitty out, so I don't understand that. Anyways, Sol's getting some nerfs. I don't actually play him much. I don't think he's boring. I just don't really care to play him currently. I'm not in the groove for the Sol. I'm not feeling any soul for the Sol. So
I'm actually kind of surprised that they nerfed him like this. I thought that they'd nerf his travel ability because, as we saw at MSI, it's pretty stupid when you just send it down. Like, you can recall like 15 times and get back to lane before the wave hits. So
yeah,
to me, it's just it's an awkward way to nerf a champion that doesn't see much play. I don't know if people just don't find interest in him, or if he's just like boring to play, because I actually haven't played him. So I think he's fine, honestly.
Yeah, I think he's all right. He can still make really impactful plays, especially if he comes down lane with massive star death. So that's so badass to watch that happen if you're good at that. Yeah. So yes, those are the changes. Anyways, next is Cassiopeia, and that is a champion who did get a buff in the mid update of the mid-season patch. But she's going to get a little bit more because she was really bad at first. So her Noxious Blast, the range on that is being increased by 100. And the movement speed bonus takes longer to decay, which is good, so you get that a little bit longer. Poison particle size has also been increased for poisoned. Also then on Miasma, cooldown on that is Miasma. The cooldown on that is going to be shorter earlier on. It still scales to the same point. The minimum range is lower and the maximum range is higher, so you can cast it further. And then bringing it back no longer stops upon hitting terrain. It'll just keep expanding. Previously, that circle, if you put it up close to terrain and it would hit it, the circle actually wouldn't continue to grow. But now it will continue to grow the direction, at least where the terrain isn't. So that is good. I like that. So this makes me happy. I actually was waiting for them to buff her and fix her a little bit because she's my next A to Z jungle, and I knew she was really bad.
I think that
So yeah,
I think that she needed to be buffed for one reason because she's the like direct counter to Rise.
yeah,
So and Rise is like I don't know if it's just I've had like I've just 10 games in a row, but in the last 10 ranked games that I've played, there's been a Rise in every game and they run rampant. I don't know if he's just like super busted or like what the deal is, but I like when they buff counters instead of nerfing the actual champion just because it enables like it shows depth of play and your like versatility rather than just if they're strong or not. So I like Cassiopeia and hopefully where she's going to be.
yeah. Can I tell you a funny story real quick?
Let's hear it.
So there is a website called Improve Your League, and I'm not trying to give them a shout out right now. That's what they are. They retweet my videos sometimes. He retweets patch notes all the time. He just retweeted patch 6.9. They're always like 2 weeks behind. How do you even pay attention to what happens in the game? Like,
wow, they have no idea.
I
They're
know.
a corporation. They don't actually know anything.
No, not a corporation. It's like some random dude. It's really funny.
Maybe he's just
Talk about fail.
yeah.
Anyways. So yeah, I agree. Looking forward to her now a little bit more. Fiddlesticks is next. This is interesting. I do declare. Fiddlesticks. They are gonna nerf him a little bit. Darkwind, the number of bounces now only 6 instead of 7. He was pretty good right after the patch. Pretty strong in the support role too, and just in the jungle in general. He's been getting better since they fixed items to be better. But after 5 seconds of not moving, Fiddlesticks will become a scarecrow. So that's
awesome. That's the best part of this.
This is the best
champion change.
Well, this is the best of the whole patch.
Mm.
This is what I like. What? Actually, I know what your favorite part of this patch is. It's coming up.
That's not what you think.
We shall see.
Turrets, but that's
we
fine.
shall see. Yeah. Yeah. Anything to say about Fiddle?
The only real reason that I'm excited about this is purely for ARAMs. Because it tones down the number of Aspergers that I get by 1 when I play ARAMs and there's a Fiddle on the other team.
Yeah.
So, but as for like normals, it doesn't really change anything because you're gonna get hit twice essentially with it, unless there's only like you and one other person. But most players can play around Darkwind relatively easily, especially when being ganked because normally there's minions and shit like that. So,
Yeah.
I don't think it'll impact them that much. I think it's a pretty good tone down, I guess.
I was asking about the spooky.
Oh no, I'm
just
super pumped for that.
No kidding.
As long as it doesn't look stupid.
Yeah, I agree. I want to see how neat it looks though. That'd be awesome. It blended in slightly with brush, but you could kind of see it.
Yeah.
That'd be so badass. Next up is Fizz. Cleansing Chum the Waters slow no longer detaches the shark from the target. This is kind of getting back on with what Deathmark and Grand Challenge and all of those things were at in the last patch when they made it so you can't cleanse them away. Same thing with Chum the Waters now. You can cleanse the slow in the CC of it, but you can't cleanse the shark actually off of you or the fish to become the shark. So you got to be careful about that. Quality of life change for Fizz, obviously. Although I think Fizz is fine right now, so yeah.
I think that he's fine too. I thought he was fine in 6.9. I don't really like these changes at all.
I'm not assuming we're going to see it, but I've been seeing a few more, and I don't know if it's going to catch on, but I've been seeing more Tank Fizz come back. It's kind of annoying.
Well, it's not only that. It's just like what I hate about... I don't hate this change in particular. I hate all of the change, like the Grand Challenge and the Deathmark and Chum the Water, because there is, like, as an AD carry, that's your only way to combat these abilities.
It's
like,
the only way to combat.
Only way.
It's your only way when your team doesn't help you.
Well, yesterday I was playing Caitlyn, and I was under tower, and I was level 5, and level 7 Zed came down, and he ulted me, did his AoE ability, and autoed me once, and I was at like 3/4 health, and he killed me.
Yeah.
And then he ignited me. Like that, like obviously I wouldn't have QSS there anyway, but like That's
Yeah,
not going to be able to be peeled for.
you gotta take barrier now.
That's not well. That's not gonna. My point is that's not gonna be able to be peeled for.
No, I agree. It's
So
not. It's not.
especially late game. So
I,
like
I feel like it's more of a. I feel like all those changes were more tilted towards high play and pro play, to punish them a little bit more. But I also do agree that, because here's the thing.
that's part of skill, knowing when to use your
That's
QSS.
that's what I'm
part
saying
of the
though.
game.
That's why I said high skill and not just pro, because like you and me know that we should buy QSSs for that stuff. How many people actually buy QSSs when they should though? People don't. That's only like kind of more so caught on over the last like season.
Well, then they need to on this. They need to remove it. QSS should not remove Trundle ulti anymore.
Yeah.
So why the fuck is that still a thing?
No, I think that one doesn't work that way either. I don't
What
think
do
it
you
removes
mean?
that. It doesn't remove that anymore.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
pretty
pretty-
sure it does.
No, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure you can't remove it anymore because it's only crowd control effect. That's not a crowd control effect. That's why
you
Trundle's
sure?
been getting played a ton more. Yeah, I'm pretty positive. I can go back and check. Was that patch 6.8 or was that patch 6.9?
I don't know. It's just I don't like that is counterplay. That is building something or like playing in a certain way. Because if you get an early QSS, you're foregoing a BF sword worth of items.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So you're building an AP or like a magic resist item to counter an AD champion as in Zed or an AP champion as in Fizz, and that's just like that. I don't know. They're lowering with all these like changes like the timers that are on the mini map. They're lowering the overall skill necessary.
I hate those timers.
They're lowering the skill to like necessary to play.
I do
League.
hate those.
And they don't understand that the number of people, like, because they're trying to boost new player interest and make it easier for new players to get into it, but it's not good for the game as a whole.
Yeah.
And so I don't like this change.
No, I don't. I don't blame you. I found the QSS changes.
Is Trundle on there?
It doesn't mention Trundle. It just the QSS changes were broad. It says it gave the example of it will cleanse the crowd control part of it, but not the. They only mentioned the Amumu alt, purging combat debuffs, and Zed alt.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure he's fine. That's why I've been seeing him get played way more now too. So, but yes, it is dumb. I agree. Alawi's next. The harsh lesson cooldown is now 4 seconds at all ranks. So now you know. She's been getting small buffs up and up and up and up and up to try to help her out. This one should be slightly more helpful. 4 seconds is pretty short, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Why not have them for lower ears, but then take them out as elo increases? Oh my god, that'd be comical. But you can't bounce a game like that. That's really sloppy. It's like bumper bowling. It's like, well, once you're good, we'll take the bumpers off. But
Or just have that's what fucking levels are for.
yeah,
So you can learn to play the game.
yeah. So
And if you're not good, you'll get put like down in elo. Like that's why like
don't get mad if you're bronze if you're actually bronze.
or like if everybody like gold is the standard because everybody wants the free skin. So just make the free skin if you got placed in ranked.
Yeah.
You get the skin.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
so people are happy. Like
No,
I
I know. It's lame. I don't like it the way the system works either, but we're not.
I like the
controlling it.
Alawi change just because she needs help.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
She's not a very good champion right now.
Yeah, she's kind of meh.
She was
Kinda
she was
super
brought
meh.
into the league while I was taking a break from league, and I've probably seen her about 4 times in game, and I play 4 or 5 games a day now.
Yeah, she doesn't get hardly played.
Yep.
Do you know what's funny when you try to play a champion nobody plays and then it gets picked the game that you want to play it and you're like, what the?
And you're like in a mirror lane. I fucking
Yeah,
hate
it
it.
happened today. No, it couldn't be mirror lane, but I tried to play Skarner and somebody picked it. It's like,
What do you mean Skarner doesn't get played? Skarner's
I don't
one of the
hardly
best
ever see
champions ever.
Skarner. I don't ever see Skarner.
He's
I don't
like
ever see it.
he's like making or like Skarner is the highest win rate in career right now, and he's like the 3rd highest pick rate.
No argument there, but
And he's super good and super dumb.
he's way too tanky is what he is.
Well, he's got a lot of
People fail with him all the time though, like bad.
he's got a lot of like Darius in him where he's just like overly tanking does too much damage.
Yeah,
Or
agreed.
like Uter.
Yep.
Like
Yep. Nerfs incoming.
why
Once
does
he
he do
gets
that much
played a
damage?
tiny bit more, nerfs are gonna be coming down. You best believe they're coming down on the man real hard. All right, next up is the Jinx. Switcheroo. Fishbone's base attack speed is being increased from 0.531 to 0.625. Fishbone attack speed penalty, instead of 15% reduced bonus attack speed, is 25% reduced bonus attack speed.
Can I address something really quick that's been said in chat?
Sure.
What was his name?
We're too toxic?
No, Mark says that he started playing 3 weeks ago, but the problem is he's no good place to start just because of this sheer amount of Smurfs.
That is unfortunate to say the least.
So I understand that that's a problem, and that's more of a problem with just people making Smurfs for not the correct reason.
Yeah.
But I think that Riot should enact like you can link your old account to your new account, and like your new account to your old account, and then it'll automatically put you at level 30.
Yeah, I agree.
So the players that you like, because the only reason people play levels 1 through 30 is because they're trying to get to 30 so they can start ranked again.
Same, yeah.
So it would solve that problem, and
Yeah, no, because like right now I'm only playing Graves on my Smurf to rank it up, and I bet that's not fun for people on the other team most of the time.
yeah, it's just it's rampant down there.
Yeah,
Like,
it's terrible. And I didn't know how toxic League was until I started playing on my Smurf. Because I don't really, when everybody says how toxic League is, I never got that ever.
Yeah.
Like I was like, yeah, people are kind of jerks occasionally. Welcome to any video game ever. But man, like when you're fresh ranking up and with all the Smurfs down there, ooh, it's a different type of hell. And I had no idea until I started ranking up my Smurf.
yeah, it's just I don't know.
That is unfortunate for that person, and my only advice is just mute everyone and turn off all chat. There's no reason, honestly, to have all chat on if you really don't want to see crap. Mute people on your team the minute you think you want to mute them. Pings are good enough, honestly, for the game right now, if that's what you want.
I don't think that he's talking like it bothers him that people are talking shit to him. I think he's just like,
no.
people are already so much better than
No,
me.
I agree, but what I'm saying is mute everyone and just grind through it. Like just like block it out. And I know that that's not the world's greatest answer, but there really is no fix for it. So like that's what you have to do. Cuz like that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just mute everybody and I just play my own game, which is great cuz I usually can just carry, but man, I can't wait till I get out. Buy XP bonuses.
What's the right reason to be a Smurf? Smurfs are a good reason, or are a good thing when your queue time, or like when you queue up for ranked, you have more than a 20-minute wait.
Yeah. Or
that's like the only good reason. Or you want to like practice a champion or ranked.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that would be a good one. The reason why I'm ranking mine up is because if I do some more of that, I don't want to get harassed in game.
Yeah.
Because if you have a recognizable name, you can sometimes get harassed. So it's just annoying, and I'd rather like sometimes be nice if I had an account nobody knew about really, or massively knew about, and so you could just play on it and have fun. So.
All right, Jinx changes. I don't think is a big deal.
Yeah, me neither. Yep. Malzahar is next up on the docket. They nerfed him in between the changes from the last patch, so he got hot nerfed really hard actually. On, I believe, cooldown and damage stuff. He got nerfed the hardest by far, but they are going to nerf him again for patch 610 on his cooldown, on his passive. It's going to be a lot longer early, and then it'll get to the same amount late game. So it'll get down to 6 seconds again, which is good late game, but it will be 30 seconds instead of 23. The cooldown indicator is now also shown on buff bar, so you can also see that there a little bit easier if you want to keep an eye on it, which is nice. I like the new Malzahar. I think he's
spell
fun.
Shield, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that just needs to be removed.
I like idea behind it, but yeah, I think it needed an increased time. 30 seconds is good. I think that's better. 23 was... It's like my annoyance with Yasuo's flow for his shield. All you have to do is once it's popped, just stand back for 5 seconds, walking back and forth, you have it back up. So I think that's another thing that could be.
But that doesn't make you immune to CC.
No, but you block all damage.
But you don't. You're not immune to. I would rather take damage than be, or I would
Well,
rather be
well,
immune to CC than, especially when you have a Mal's ult.
I agree.
You just walk
I
out
hear
behind
what
Mal's ult. Like, where is the skill in that?
I hear what you're saying, but you can also like refresh Yasuo's shield easily too, like even easier and faster. That's
In
I'm just
six seconds.
I'm just comparing it. That's late. That's super late. That's level 16. Yeah, I know it. You're usually just dead in less than 6 seconds. So, but yeah, that's how that works. Anyways, Malzahar is currently decently strong. I don't actually think he's like super god mode like a lot of people thought he was. Granted, his win rate was higher, but he got nerfed really hard in that hotfix. So
I've only played against Malzahar twice, and both of them suck ass.
yeah,
Like,
I
people are
mean,
starting to play champions because they're strong and they have no idea what they're doing.
Mal's ult is actually I think worse now. Early, it's better late, but it's worse early now. So it's his voidlings that are the real thing, but they're really easy to kill. So just a heads up. Next up is Kyle's favorite change on this patch. It is Master Yi. His Meditate has a 0.25 instead of a 0.15 ability power ratio per second. And then Wuju style, true damage on hit, instead of it being 12 to 40 on hit, it's now 14 to 50. So he does more damage and he heals better.
So, meditate, I don't give a shit about because no one builds AP. I guess
Right.
you can qualify Rage Blade now as a big problem.
Yep.
Which that kind of, but like who the fuck cares about meditate? It's more about the damage reduction while he's doing it than anything else. And then Wuju style, true damage needs to be taken out of the game, not buffed.
Agreed. And this is
Uh,
only part one of Yi buffs.
yeah,
Because there's
especially-
more coming.
Yeah,
Which is stupid. So we talked about this a couple patches ago. I'll reiterate it again. We need to stop hating Teemo as the most hated champion in the league. It should just be Master Yi now. He's more cancerous in my opinion.
Master Yi.
Like, it's step on a Teemo shroom and yeah, it hurts. Oh damn, that sucks. But like, Master Yi hits you for a gajillion true damage after he double strikes you, and then he just goes into Alpha Strike, and then you can't hit him because he's invisible and he disappears, and then you're
My
dead.
my quarrel with Teemo is not the fact that he's good or bad. My quarrel with Teemo is just the fact that I hate it when he's on my team and I hate it when he's on the other team. Because I always feel like mine are useless because he's useless, and then I always hate other ones because of the shroom issue. Like, those are the only two reasons that I don't like Teemo.
Yeah.
But Master Yi's problem is a lot deeper than that
Yeah.
because Master Yi can actually destroy entire teams by himself, and it's stupid. He takes no ability. He's a right-click champion, and people are like, "Oh my God, you can use Alpha Strike to dodge skill shots. Oh my God!" And they're like, think they're really good when they do that, but like, I'm just sitting here like, I fucking do that every single game as 80 carries, and you have to, or else you die. Like, Master Yi takes no fucking ability at all to play. Why are we buffing him?
Yeah.
I think that the easy champions to play should be the champions who are like solid, like Garen. Like, Garen can fulfill multiple roles. He can carry. He's not going to destroy an entire team by himself, and he's what he is. Like,
He's got a straightforward kit too. Like, yeah, I agree. Garen's the staple model of should be easy to play but doesn't destroy and annihilate an entire team.
I don't think that, like, and people are saying Yi has a low win rate.
Some of the best champions have the lowest win rates all the time.
Yeah, like Azir's win rate was shitty when he
Was
and he
murdering
was a
everyone.
god, and
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's
Well, that happens all the time. Like,
They
LeBlanc's win rate's never been that high because to actually be like actually decent, you have to have a little bit of skill. And
Yeah.
The Azir thing reigns true too. Azir will never have an above 50% win rate. If Azir
and
has
Rise.
but if Azir ever has a 50% above win rate, like, there will be Azir's. Well, there will never actually be Azir's played because he would be he would be banned every game. But like, he would be so easy to play. You would literally just two auto people. Like, that's how easy a 50% win rate Azir would be, because his kit's so good and he can do so many things. So, yeah, I don't understand Master Yi buffs. I don't get them at all. I don't care about win rates. That doesn't mean a champion's good or bad. Sometimes it can help point that direction, obviously, but that doesn't always mean that. So,
I just
you
and
cry?
then, like, foreshadowing, they're buffing Blood Razor at another percentage of life, which is like fine. I'm super pumped because I like to play jungle Vayne right now, but it's just like at least with Vayne you have to 3 auto people to get your true damage off. Like it's not just like could you imagine if Vayne did her true damage every single bit like
A
every
very
single
small piece
shot?
of it and then a big chunk every
No, let's say
third.
1/3 of it.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. It'd
It
be
would be
insane.
retarded.
You know how you can
She would
do.
be the most broken champion in the game.
You know how you can do true damage on all those attacks, right? Just pick yourself up one of them red buffs real quick.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyways, it's annoying. I'm not a fan. Nocturne is next. Nocturne is drunk. No, he's getting an additional scaling AP ratio on his passive Umbra blades, a 0.15. Basically, this is a we feel bad for you buff. If you wanted to build a Rage Blade or have Baron buff, help you a little more, we'll give you a little bit of ability power scaling. This is a I feel bad for you buff, aka this champion's not the strongest but not weak. They just want to give them a tiny bit to make them feel better. Same thing is happening to Shyvana. Now additionally scales with a 0.1 ability power per second ratio on burnout. On hit, now additionally scales with 0.025 ability power on hit. It's the same thing with Rage Blade. It's the we feel bad for you. Although I don't know why you would feel bad for Shyvana. I think she's been completely fine for a long time now. Like, borderline goodish to strongish. She just gets one damage item and can go straight tank. Burnout damage does way more than most people expect anyways, so now this just actually makes burnout even more ridiculous. But
Someone just said Corki used to have 10% true damage on his autos. He would have to have 500 AD
yep.
in order to equal what Yi gets.
Yep.
500. Is that even possible?
Yeah. No, it's yeah. Yes. Corki used to, well, being the operative word.
So and he builds Trinity Force. So at most, he's gonna have what? 280, 290. That's 28.
That's
28 true damage on one hit. Like,
that's why
that's level 1. Ruju
That's why he
style.
had that passive though, because they knew the way his kit worked, you'd never build a straight base attack damage build because it wouldn't work with this kit. You'd actually make yourself weaker. He's got a shorter auto attack range, and you use his abilities to splice him between Sheen procs. Building him full AD didn't work. Yeah, you'd get a little bit more true damage, but that tiny bit of true damage was never worth what you're missing out with the rest of the kit. So,
it's
yeah.
eh.
So these two champions are getting AP ratios that they don't need really. I kind of don't care about these. Like I said, these are the we feel bad for you buffs, not the...
For Swain?
No, for Nocturne and Shyvana.
Oh,
bruh.
okay. I thought we were already on Swain. I was like, what the heck just happened?
No, just
Actually,
Yeah.
I don't think that you should build... Like, if you're building Rage Blade on Nocturne or Shyvana, like, you got serious problems because you're not going to be tanky enough to actually dive. So,
yeah.
like, I still think that you should buy Warrior or even, like, if you want to get squirrely, the Razor Blade now that it's been buffed. But, like, Razor Blade. Blood Razor. But... No, I don't think you should buy... Like, you're going to be too squishy, and there's better items. There's better items for tank, and there's better items for damage for both of them.
For people still talking about true damage, they should just remove it from the game. All right.
Aurelia does, like, 20 true damage at auto, I believe.
What's the cooldown on like 7 seconds? 6 seconds?
Well, it's active for a while, but she doesn't build attack speed. If you build attack speed, you're going to die.
Yeah, it's true.
It is... What? You get 75 bonus true damage
Damn.
at max level. 15 at rank 1.
Yeah. She's
But
got
it's
a little
for-
bit, but
It's for 6 seconds.
she doesn't work the same way. It doesn't add up.
Yeah.
Swain is... Although she's also not that relevant either right now. Swain is next up. Swain has currently the 5th worst win rate ever in the history of League of Legends.
It's pretty good, right?
That's real strong. Similarly to Azir, when he had the low... No, just kidding. This is terrible. So the problem with Swain is some issues with the way they did his stats, the way people are currently maxing him out, and also another big one is he's really, really buggy right now. Whether or not they're fixing those bugs, he is buggy. So I wouldn't play Swain right now because of those reasons, but let's talk about this for a split second because he's the biggest change on the patch. Torment's damage amplification is a flat 20% all the time. You don't need to max that out first now like you used to, so don't max that out. Put a point in it and leave it be. Max out your other stuff. Then let's talk about his health growth stat. It's being increased from 78 to 90, so he's going to get more health as the game goes on, which helps his pool of health when he's trying to suck life from things that want to have their life sucked. Decrepify now executes minions below 10 health. They fixed a bug where spell effects like Rylai's Scepter and Leander's Torment weren't applying properly, so there's one of those bugs that was plaguing him to a 35% win rate. Ravenous Flock. This is one of the bigger changes, or one of the things that'll help him the most. Healing versus champions. Instead of it being 75% of the damage dealt, it's going to be numbers and then a 0.1 ability power ratio. Because if 75% of the damage dealt, let's say, which these don't deal that much damage, so like 75% of what each one would do, maybe like 45 to 50 early, not a lot. Like 75% of that is like 20.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 20-ish. 20 to 8-ish. Now you're actually going to get 30, which is more, and you're going to be getting an ability power ratio on it. So your scaling for your health is based on your build, which I like more. Healing versus minions and monsters, instead of it being 15%, it's 8 to 13 with a 0.03. So it's not as high, and it never has been as high. It's really rewarding for when you are chunking and being a frontliner in those team fights, typically against tanky teams, where you can just leave Ravenous Flock on over and over, eating life off of tanks while you survive whatever little bits of damage they have. It also now prioritizes the closest target to Swain instead of picking them at random, but it still prioritizes champions over non-champions. Which also makes sense to me.
The biggest part of this, in my opinion, is the health growth stat.
That is going to be super helpful.
Because it's 12 a level, like 12 a level, so like it's like 200, like a little over 200. So you're getting 600 gold worth of effective HP with just because. So that's like the biggest, I think, boom to him.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen a Swain in quite the while.
No, he's pretty bad right now. So I'll play him and I'll make a video for him, and then everybody play him and they'll lose. So look for that. I'm kidding, I won't. All right, who's next? It's Tadok. Tadok's next. Cosmic Radiance added a brighter particle that plays when units affected by Cosmic Radiance become invulnerable.
So this is huge because it's actually pretty tough to tell the difference when people.
Agreed.
Like the way I usually do it is when it like comes down and actually does it. Like the actual animation of it like coming down.
Yeah.
Is what I see. Like I don't really notice the sparkliness. So I like I like as much fabulous as we can get in the game.
Oh well, yeah, there should be as much fabulousness as we can get.
That's good.
You know what I'm waiting for? The Ezreal skin that matches Turks. His Ugg boot skin.
They could do it like a Debonair Tarek skin.
Wait, why didn't they do Debonair Tarek?
Because it would be too Debonair.
That's true. It's a good point. It'd be too fob for us.
Yes, exactly.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
They should have one with his shirt off and him holding like an Old Spice hammer.
Someone said he can eat dick. He probably does. Wow. Tryndamere. Kidding. Somebody's being rude.
Rude.
Anyways, Tryndamere's next. Undying Rage. Minimum health. 30, 50, 70. What they've removed as I lay dying. Good ban. No longer heals Tryndamere for 3% of his maximum health if he was below that when dying or when Undying Rage ends. So it just holds you at a higher threshold instead of just being at none. You know? So it's like a nerf buff.
We were talking Tryndamere's had like 2k health. So it's like, I don't know. It's alright change.
Yeah.
Because it'd be like 60. Yeah, it's about the same.
What is happening right now?
People are spamming the chat.
Okay, whatever.
That's what it looks like.
It happens. Yeah. I talked about Tryndamere because he's free this week.
Oh, is he?
He's very underwhelming still. He hasn't been the god that he once was in Season 2. Remember, every time in Season... I think he's okay, but like he's still pretty underwhelming.
I'm a big fan of Ro Hammers.
Yeah?
Who is a Tryndamere main. He's a Challenger Tryndamere main, and watching him is...
If you can play Tryndamere really well...
enlightening. Yeah,
really good Tryndamere's like... it's a certain level of annoying, you know.
Yeah.
But Tryndamere has overwhelmingly been meh for the past 2 seasons, 3 seasons.
Well, he's one of those
Season
champions
2, he
that,
was
like,
ridiculous.
he has an ability that lets him not die, so you can't have him like super strong.
He can't do tons of fancy things on top of that. I
Yeah,
agree.
because if he
What you're
does,
saying.
then he'd be retarded and be named Azir.
Well played. Um, yes, that's true. So I don't play him much, although I don't mind not playing him. I didn't like playing him in season 2 because everybody was playing him. Instead, I played Mordekaiser because nobody played him and he was super broken. But yeah, that's just how that works. Yeah, Tryndamere. Vel'Koz is next. Easily put, his passive ability power is going to be increased by 0.1. And then his life form disintegration ray ability power ratio is going to be increased by 0.25. So essentially, there are some buffs to Vel'Koz.
I actually really like Velikaz as a champion just because I think that he takes skill.
Ugh.
Like sure, a lot of his stuff is very immediate, but a lot like most of his shit you can dodge. So like if you run across a good Vel'Koz, they should destroy you. If you run across a bad Vel'Koz, you should dumpster them. So it's just like I think champions like this are good for the league.
I agree. I don't personally care for Vel'Koz, but I do know what you're saying. I do agree with it. I just don't care for him. I think he's just
Oh,
like
I don't. He's not my playstyle. He's a mage.
he was just a
But
add-on to League because of the people who wanted more hentai. So
yes.
yes, indubitably. Next up is Vladimir. So Vladimir was also touched in the hot patch, hot fix. He got a small buff to his late game.
In the hot fix?
In the hot fix, yeah. His late game was crap. What? How do you feel about that?
So, my huge quarrel with
Yeah.
with the way that the things are going right now is because all I heard from everyone was that Vladimir was freaking broken on the PvE, and the only reason like Riot hears their this feedback from it, and then they nerf the champion before it comes out on live, and they don't realize that the people who have the platform are normally better players than the majority, if not all, of the players on PvE. So, like, there's such a gap in skill that a champion that's not actually good can be considered really, really OP, like Vladimir was. And then when he gets to live, he's just complete ass.
Yeah.
And I don't like. Riot needs to have the PvE to sort out bugs like shit that makes the game crash, stuff that like stops other stuff from working, or like
35%
something like
win rate swains.
something like well no, just like stuff like that, and then they need to rely on their balance team to balance the game, like or like internal matches or some shit.
I don't know if you would like that because from what I understand and how things work, and you know this to be true, if internal team just balance it to how they want the game, it's going to be based around just pro play.
And I'm fine with that.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Like,
think you.
but Riot will also change the game, and then new stuff will come available, and like new stuff will become the new hot thing, or like powerful once they nerf champions or buff champions, and I'm fine with that. What I don't want is like them to overreact to PvE news or like
Yes.
statistics because when I play a PvE, 90% of the people I play against aren't
Are trash.
aren't even level 30 like in skill. So
Yeah.
it's just like you can't.
Yeah, I don't play tons on PvE. I'm going to start doing more because people like to watch that stuff. But I don't like playing on the PvE with like real people because they are really bad on the PvE.
Yeah, so
It's
would
really
balance,
trolly.
Would you balance a champion? So like let's just say that you can take controls of Riot for a day.
Well, I already do that.
If you play Vladimir and just dumpster someone on the PvE, are you going to change Vladimir because you did that, or are you just going to assume that most of these statistics are or like most of this news, oh my god, so broken, blah 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 blah. Watch the newest Profesco video. This guy's so broken. Oh my god. And then like it's just like, well, you're playing against viewers and they all suck ass and like I don't know. I'm done.
I hear what you're saying. I hear it. I do hear it. I do.
I was really pumped for the Vladimir changes because I think they all look really good. I think they were good changes. And then he came out and I played one game of him and I was like, I won't touch this guy until he's like fixed because he sucks ass.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know we're the 11th most popular stream on YouTube?
Well, let's be real. Why aren't we number one? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, because we don't have 19,000 people watching us. All right.
What's that?
I don't know, somebody. Anyways, yes. Anyways, we're on Vladimir. I like the new Vlad a lot, personally.
Same.
If you guys have anybody you haven't played yet and it isn't Vladimir and the new mages that got updated, new Vlad is super fun. Crimson Rush Particle now delays until just before transfusion becomes available on his queue. Tides of Blood. Releasing Tides of Blood no longer permanently cancels pool, which is good. And then Hemotag. Healing versus champions. Instead of it being 50% of the damage dealt, it's going to be a flat rate. So 150 scaling to 350 with a 0.7 ability power ratio increased by 50% for each additional champion hit beyond the first. And I'm going to be honest, I don't understand what that means. I don't know if it's more or less. I think it's more. Or is it less?
I think it's more.
I think it's more too. I mean, well, I guess it depends on the amount of
The
champions.
healing or the damage?
The healing.
The healing's more.
Okay, so it's more?
Yeah.
I assumed it would be more, but I don't know for sure. But like I said, the big thing that they did is I believe they buffed his E damage after rank 3 or 4 by a bit in the hotfix. So he has more damage from 6.9, and they did the hotfix on him. So Vlad is fun. Look for a build for him soon. Foreshadowing.
Just going back to my point.
Oh yeah, go for it.
E change.
Yep.
That's the kind of shit that should be changed in PvE, and same with the Q change.
Mm-hmm.
But like number wise, should not be.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm super excited because actually the Q is a huge deal. Like it was something that should have never made it out of PvE. But I'll probably give him another try, even though he's not super strong. I liked Vladimir before because you had the ability to go like Crystal Scepter and tank and just kind of be a CC bot and like control like a control almost like a control tank mage, or you could just go damage and just try to one-shot teams. Like you got that, you had that versatility in your play and you could go either way, and now you really can't. So hopefully they move him back in the direction where he can do either or.
Yeah.
So what are you giggling about?
Nothing. What somebody posted in chat.
What do they say?
That they're watching this while they're sitting on a toilet with food poisoning and cuddling a bucket. Yay, iPhones.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, Zyra's next. Passive Garden of Thorns can be stepped on 1 second after them spawning that 1.5. Rampant growth 1.5 still though. Because reasons.
Zyra, the amount of plants that she can spawn
is awesome.
They need to be immediate, honestly. Like you should be able to step on them immediately
after they're done sprouting, or I think
no,
basically
like
I think
when they
after
go
they're
down,
done.
like when they go down and you can see it on the map, like you just step on that shit and it's gone. Like boof, it's gone.
Yeah,
Bye.
I kind of agree.
Because
although her
it's too
cooldowns are a little bit longer now.
She doesn't use any mana.
Oh, if you're playing her right, she does.
She doesn't. She's like the new Galio. Galio. I played against a Galio the other day. Uses combo like 7 million times. Never lost any mana. New Zyra. Boom. I don't like support Zyra either. That shit's annoying.
It's super fun.
Get that shit out of here.
Is Badger high? No, I don't do drugs. Anyways, the Zyra changes were good also in the update. As a Zyra person who plays Zyra, approved. Splash updates. Kyle's really excited. You can take here. I'll let you carry this.
They're all Tristana and they're all adorable. I'm kind of put off by the fact that the Gorilla Tristana doesn't look that good, but she looks like a dude in Gorilla Tristana. So
she does look a little bro-ish.
So we're gonna go.
How does her jacket? Her arms covering her chest, where her jacket doesn't close.
Yeah. So needless to say, you're gonna see a little bit of girl Yordle Tristana boobage. But anyway, The rest of them are phenomenal. I'm actually kind of upset that they didn't redo Rocket Girl Tristana as well. I know that's a relatively new skin, but
Yeah.
the art style has changed so much
Yeah.
that it doesn't fit the new style, so they should have done it.
It sort of does, but I do know what you're saying.
But yeah, I just they're all really good. They're all
Yeah, they
adorable.
do look good. They do look real good. I do agree. Um, jungle respawn timers, which shouldn't actually be on the map. They reduced the size of red and blue minimap spawn timers. You get your hand up. Oh, question. Is there a question in the audience? Okay, Kyle, yes?
Yes. Professor Badger, why the fuck can I turn this off in my goddamn settings?
Well, see, the reason you can't turn it off is because then the enemy team wouldn't know when your shit's gonna spawn.
Or like, I mean, like for myself, like I just want that shit off of my minimap. I know when my like, I used to play this game when it required skill, and I can time my own goddamn buffs, or else I could just hit tab and see when my buffs spawn. I don't need a little thing on my map filling up my space.
Yeah.
Get that shit out of here.
Well, so what's happening is, so you know how previously there weren't those at all, and you either had the icon with the countdown if you knew, and then you had just the picture of the buff, and you didn't know when it was coming up, such as if it was the enemy jungle. Now with these timer things, they pop up regardless, 10 seconds before they respawn. So now you like have warning when there's this respawning, even if you didn't have the timer. Like, why? It's so easy to steal buffs now. It's stupid. So, yeah, I don't get these. This is dumb. Stop making the game easy.
So I want to say one thing.
Yeah.
The symbols showing up when the buff is going to spawn, I think is kind of a good thing. I just like the fact that that promotes PvP in the game. Like,
Oh yeah.
so, but like,
That's what New Dragon is.
kind of. I mean, like, if New Dragon is like, at least on 6.9, if New Dragon's like Ocean Dragon or Fire Dragon, then it promotes fighting. But if it's like Wind Dragon or Mountain Dragon, then people are like, nah, we can get that shit later. Like, let's go take Rift Herald or like a turret or some shit.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the RNG of Dragon, and I don't like RNG in my video game. I get enough of that shit with Hearthstone.
Oh, when you're not getting legendaries, get wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
Got him. I got him, guys. I got him real good. First minion wave. Minions in the first wave should no longer grab an enemy ranged minion as a target randomly, which should not cause the waves to do stupid things.
It's actually a huge deal, especially for bot lane.
Yeah, it is. That's
Yeah. It just if your minions did grab a back lane, then it was easier for people to farm without being harassed, especially like for Caitlyn, who like needs to harass level 1 because she really doesn't have a level 2 power spike.
No, not really.
So it's actually a really big deal, especially for Caitlyn, but like I don't see why it did that to begin with.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
Oh.
Well, I can play Scrabble and do patch notes at the same time. Anyways.
Same.
So that's changing. Next up, though, is the Mountain Drake. It no longer amplifies 2 damage, including smite. Because it was amplifying that, so.
Hey, here's a Mountain Drake. We can solve that problem by taking true damage out the fucking game.
Oh! Got him. I agreed. I think the bigger one, though, is the next one. Ocean Drake. Mark of the Ocean Drake. It restores 4, 8, and 12% of your missing health and mana every 8 seconds if not damaged by a champion or tower in the last 5 seconds. So, they took the percentages down.
Well, for the first 2.
For the first 2. No, actually, for all of them.
No, it's you get 10% of your health and mana back every 16 seconds.
But they basically...
And then they go 16, 8, and 6 or some shit like that. And so, basically what they did is they did...
But you have to be out of combat now, too.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
but
the
it
big
also
one.
does it faster. Immediately.
Yeah.
So you get less health back, but it happens more if you're out of combat. So... Wait. Not damage. So you'll still get the health back if you're, like, CSing a wave if you haven't taken damage. Which... I don't know. Ocean Dragon's just so fucking busted. I don't know if this is gonna fix that.
I think one of the reasons why they want it a little bit stronger than it probably should be is because then people can, like, I mean, I think they really want Dragon to be focused upon in the LCS. It's going to move game tempo up. It's going to cause way more people to fight. Like, you know how it's just Dragon stacking and maybe they'll get to 5? Now there's no Dragon stacking. It's now just like, is it a Dragon
dependent? That'll be totally dependent on what Dragon spawns, though.
That's
so like, you can pick a power bot lane.
No, I agree.
And
no, but here's the problem with that.
Just the fact that it's a Wind Dragon. Like,
but here's the problem with that. One of the reasons that you won't know what it is right away, and there's that variety, is you can't base team comps around which ones work better with certain dragons. And the other thing, too, that helps is this will force probably more 2v2 lanes and less lane swapping. Or really fast lane swapping. But the problem is if you do go for the lane swap and you don't rotate fast enough, it's really easy for that first team to go take that dragon. So if it is an important dragon, then you won't be able to get it. You know? So, like, to me, this is definitely a huge change, in my opinion, to how people should fight around dragons and prioritize them, but a bigger one to how professional play works.
I would be surprised if professionals didn't switch the bot lane to the top lane. Honestly, because it takes the RNG like element out of it.
Yeah.
Because like if you pick a power bot lane and then the other people pick the lane switch bot lane and they go top lane, and it's a Wind Dragon or like some shit that's not very good, like you lose the game because they'll push the turrets, the turrets, and then they'll go take Rift Herald, and the game will be over. Because someone on the other team has Rift Herald buff for 20 minutes. So it only makes sense for them to both go top. And like if there is an Ocean buff like right away and you know that, then you can maybe switch down. Or like if it's a Fire buff, or like I don't even think Fire buff is that good. Like Ocean buff.
I like Fire buff. You get 2 of those and you're in.
Well, I know, but like the first one's not that big of a deal. The first one is essentially what the last dragon wasn't
it? But here's why I think it's more important though now. And I know it's a little bit. I think it might be actually less. But here's why it's important, because if it's the only one that spawns, even if they get one dragon, let's say they get a shitty dragon, like Wind or Mountain or whatever, then they won't ever have a damage amplification buff the rest of the game if they miss out. Like if that was the only one that's going to spawn, you know, like you will get a percentage of damage that they will never have a chance to get. So that one is important, the first one. The second one's even more important than 2, because then you can get an even bigger damage amplification, and they won't have any still. So, because currently, or not currently, but previously, if you just got first dragon, like let's say you deny their 5th dragon, you finally got first dragon, that was actually a huge swing, because you stopped 5th dragon, and you got a big gold buff for all of your stats, technically. So you know I'm right.
No, I actually completely disagree.
Really?
Like, I think that adding global RNG to the game is super bad. It is super bad for like the game as a whole, like just the way it's played.
Because I think it's interesting.
It makes the games more interesting, but at the same time, like people's professions are going to be based off of RNG. That's not smart for like competitive play or even ranked play.
Isn't crit chance RNG?
Crit chance is a constant though. It's a constant form, and it's not global RNG.
No, I agree. It's not global, but I'm just saying, isn't it?
Like if you gave everybody 20% crit chance, then yes, you're out of the game.
Oh, hold on. Now you're breaking up. Okay, you're back now.
But since it's a purchasable ability, like since it's a purchasable thing. Everybody has that ability to get crit chance, but they don't get it because it's not always effective for their individual person. Yeah, this is a global thing, and it's random.
Yeah. I haven't seen too many issues with it so far, though.
Yeah.
So, but I agree. Like there are some negatives that could be, associated with it, but yeah.
No, I don't like random RNG.
No, I know you don't.
Like global RNG, and I'm just thinking of it from like a pure like rotation standpoint, not like if this dragon is better than this dragon. I'm just thinking Because they're not the same. They're not even close to the same. Like people are like, oh yeah, the wind dragging allows you to rotate faster. Like I don't give a like.
Yeah. No.
It's 15 move speed out of combat. Like
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what it is. How about turrets? Turrets take less true damage when the backdoor bonus is in effect. Now additionally absorbs 66% of true damage when the backdoor bonus is in effect.
I love. Anytime they buff turrets, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, same here. Here's the Blood Razor we talked about. Attack speed is being increased by 10%, and the on-hit damage is being increased to 4% of the target's maximum health instead of 3%. This is the other half of the Yi buff, and anybody else who really buys Blood Razor. You'll like this for your Vayne, though.
Yeah, I like it. Well, like I like it for Vayne, but I don't like it for Yi. And that seems like once again like it's hypocritical.
Yeah.
But Vayne's like one-shottable.
Yeah, no,
And
I agree.
It really is not.
Yeah, he can
You
at
need
least.
two items on Yi, and then you can just go tank and just destroy the game.
Well, and you always have your meditation,
Yeah.
where you get super tank. So, two other interesting changes happening this patch is the summoner spells, Barrier and Ghost. Both of them are having their cooldowns reduced from 210 seconds to 180 seconds, and the movement speed on Ghost, instead of it being 27% at all ranks, it's now 28 to 45. So it's going to be real fast. Ghost might come back for a few champions who kind of utilized Ghost fairly well, such as Vlad,
TF.
Rise, Olaf. TF
Twist of
kinda
Fate?
used it. Twist of
Yeah,
Fate.
you Twist of Fate always used to be ran with Ghost Flash in mid lane.
Yeah, that's true. He did. He could always chase really easy. But that 45%, I mean, that is a lot of bonus movement speed. Late game, you will be flying. Can you imagine Ghost Acceleration Gate Rammus? Wind Speakers, something?
That'd be
Shanna?
dumb. Max sure, Max win buff
Max
Rammus.
Wind Buff Rammus goes across the map in 0.2 seconds. But yeah, that'll be interesting.
Win.
Oh my god, I'm playing Quinn again, boys, with the Ghost. We're chasing. Dynamic Q. Rolling out later this patch. Several adjustments for improvements targeting high MMR matchmaking in dynamic cubes. Our goals Our goals are lowering queue times and improving match quality above diamond tier with a set of solutions addressing those two issues. We share more during this patch. You know what they should do with the just draft? Man, I've been in some long queues for just normal just draft. Holy god. I'm not even trying to get anything like crazy either. Just like,
uh,
you okay?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
No, I've had my fair share of 8-10 minute normal queues.
Dude, I've tweeted a few recently. I've had some 12, 15. Why am I in a 15-minute queue time? Is my normal MMR that good? It can't be. Whatever. I accept. Champion Mastery is happening this patch.
Wait. Let's talk about dynamic. I want to say something. They just need to bring back fucking solo queue.
And
Like,
there it
just
is.
stop. Listen to your fans. Like, who are you, Blizzard? Like, listen to your goddamn fans.
Yeah, Ghostcrawler.
Just listen to your fans. We all want no or like solo queue back. Just come out with it.
And then there's me, who I don't really care. But I hear what you're saying.
That's true.
Champion Mastery levels 6 and 7 are coming this patch. Champion Mastery levels for 6 and 7 better emphasize skill by requiring S grades from match-made games. We're emphasizing a performance requirement alongside a dedication component. The time needed to unlock free chests or earn IP for champion shards or permanent loot. To build on the original system's blend of skill and participation, keeping an eye out for the larger announcement soon. So, you can't just play a champion a lot to get 6, 7. You need to be getting S grades with those champions to basically get these. So, ding. You can earn new Champion Mastery badge emotes, loading screen flags, and announcement banner upgrades for each level. Earn Champion Mastery 6 tokens for an S-, S, or S+ games with a champion that are Mastery of level 5. Earn Champion Mastery level 7 tokens for an S or S+ game with a champion that is a Mastery level of 6. Combine Mastery tokens for a specific champion that champs crafting shard, permanent loot, or blue essence to unlock their next Mastery level. We're adding a new system a new Mastery Champ item to the store for RP and IP in a future patch that'll help offset the RNG that Kyle loves of finding champ shards and permanents in chests.
So this is just them trying to have some more purpose for their opening box system
Yep.
thing, and I'd like just
And another step for people who do have champions at, you know.
well, like I know someone who has 1,000,000 champion points on Thresh. 1,000,000 champion points.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not going to be able to get mastery level 7 because now it starts. So they're going to have to get these token things, which they play Thresh every single game. So it's not going to take them that long, but it's just like
Yeah.
it's adding not a enjoyable form of grind.
Yeah, it's just an added bonus though. I don't think you have to grind. Like, I don't play things to get champion mastery levels for champions I like. I mean, I did a little bit at first for
Well, some people
Mordekaiser,
do.
but that's not. Well, but that's them then liking. You know, that's them liking all this. You know, like not play to win. It's the equivalent
Bells
of
and
them
whistles.
loving achievements. How did I win that game? So yeah, like you can go after the stuff, but it doesn't do anything. So was it Mad Life?
Use what?
Mad Life, your Thresh player with 1,000,000 points. It's Mad
Oh
Life,
no,
isn't it?
it's
Sad
Groxy.
Life.
Groxy. I don't know if you ever played with Groxy.
I don't know if I have played with Groxy. I don't know.
So
But yeah, I'll be getting champion mastery levels 6 and 7, obviously, for me on Quinn and Mordekaiser and Zyra. Just kidding.
Good
Bug
luck.
fixes. Bug fixes. What up, motorcycle? Bug fixes. Lots of them. Read them here. A lot of weird little things. Oh, also one of my new favorite things with the mid-season mage update: destroying turrets with satchel charge as Ziggs. That's so fun. By the way, go do it if you haven't done it.
I like it. That's I don't care. That's a good change.
Yeah.
It's unique to the champion. It's
Yeah, I thought it was really
kind
cool.
of it's very similar to what he does. Like it makes sense for his character.
Agreed. The following skins are being released during this patch: Freljord, Talia, or Talea, or what? Talea, right? Talea.
For Helior Talia.
Talia. Talea. How did you say her name earlier? I missed it. Whatever.
Talia.
Super Galaxy Fizz, Super Galaxy Kindred, and Super Galaxy Shyvana. My opinion: Super Galaxy Fizz, nifty but kind of ugly. Super Galaxy Kindred, I actually kind of like it. I think it's decent. Super Galaxy Shyvana, hideously terrible. I think it looks terrible in game. It looks just like somebody threw up color on Shyvana and said, "That should be a great seller." No, I don't like it at all.
I actually don't like the fact that they're starting to come out with like older legendary skins. It's just 1350 skins because it makes you feel like you wasted money on a 1850 skin. Personally,
No, I kind of
so I just would rather them either A, put in the extra effort and make these 1850, or B, just come up with new ideas.
Yeah.
So
I agree. But also, I'll do a little plug here for my other show. I did a new skin showdown. Make sure you check it out and vote for the next champion you want me to do a skin showdown for, where I compare skins, tell you which ones I think are shit and which ones are good. And I might get a little rougher in the future, but yeah, that's how it works. So,
I love tilapia.
you love tilapia?
Someone just said that you pronounce it tilapia.
Tilapia. I'm gonna play some tilapia mid. So.
Yeah. What are your? We didn't really kind of go over her at all. What are your?
I played her. Her Q does pretty significant damage. Obviously, you have to make sure you're not recasting it in the same spot. I think her ultimate is going to show us who is good and who is terrible with her. Dude, people suck already at canceling Jarvan's ult. You
No,
know?
I've been found.
You know?
Yeah.
So putting up a giant wall, yeah, that's only going to make things worse for a lot of people. But overall, I think she will have some impact. She's going to be, I think, really roam-based. But besides that, also besides her wall that's difficult, if you never like push people over your things or you never like land your knock-up and the direction swipe of it, I can see a lot of people being quite bad with her. So I think a lot of people won't really enjoy
Playing her at first.
tilapia too much.
I think that she probably won't be like she'll be really hot for the first week, and then she'll fall off completely until she's played in LCS, and then she'll be really popular again
That
because
Hansel's
people
so
will
hot right now.
realize how to play her.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be interesting. I want to see what they do buffs or patches. Supposedly her initial form on the servers in house at Riot, she was super broken. So,
Oh
but
yeah,
now but now she's well usually when somebody comes super broken or super unexceptional, they then go the other way extreme. So we will find out.
yep.
But that is essentially patch 6.10. I like most of the changes. There's some interesting ones as well. Not a big fan of the E ones. Don't know why that's in there. But some other ones that just some quality of life stuff. I do like the changes to Barrier and Ghost, make them more unique. That's a good thing. Nerfing one of the dragons back down. Updating some splash arts. Really, the hot fixes were almost even bigger than the patch itself, honestly.
Yeah.
So make sure you go read patch 6.9 hot fixes. They're at the very top if you want to check that out. So you know what they had done in between the two patches. So, but that is the patch. Let us know what you guys think down below in the comments. What you liked, what you hate. Make sure you leave this video a like as well if you made it this far. And obviously, if you made it this far, we love you more because that's how that works. But other than that, we wish you all the best of luck out there playing on the new patch. And we'll see all you guys later.
Bye bye now.
Bye-bye now.